This is as good a time as any to bring something up. Every now and again I have someone come out of this class with the misunderstanding that they're to enter their next fight doing this. And you can do that, it won't hurt your arms. You won't hurt your opponent probably either. It's awfully predictable and you tire yourself out. The real application is here, and maybe I'm preaching to the already converted since you're all experienced fighters, but these rules are going to apply to like 3 to 5 blow bursts. They're not going to be an ongoing pattern that you throw one heedless of what your opponent is doing. More importantly though, you're trying to train your body to understand that after this motion, your body already knows and understands that it's got these options. It's got these follow-throughs, it's got these blows that naturally flow from the blow that you just threw. And I think if you train those motions, you're going to get that body understanding of how to move. And rather than thinking, now I'm going to throw my special 3-blow combo number 5, where I hit twice to the right side and once to the left side, instead you're going to think, I want to hit that right leg. You throw the right leg, and right about here you go, okay, I'm seeing this happen. I'm in motion. My body knows that I can reverse this and hit over there. So, since that's open, I'm going to reverse the throw here. Hey, look at that. It's still open, but I raised the shield that time. Okay, I'll just repeat that. Oh, my sword stopped here in long point. Now I see an opening over here. Boom. It's not a combination shot. It's a series of single shots, but they all flow one into the other without stopping. And it's a subtle but really important difference because at every step of the way there's interaction between you and the reality of what's happening in the fight, what your opponent is or isn't doing, as opposed to just blindly firing something and seeing what comes of it. That's kind of a clean battleship. You make this guess and just do your thing and see what happens. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. All right. One thing to think about to train a little bit, now that we're talking figure eight, we're talking about this fluid transition. Take some time another day and play around with thinking about it now broken down. I come from high right to low left, stop, and then switch up to high left, and I come from high left to low right, stop. Bring it up here, break it down, and take the fluidity out, and try it like that, and then put the fluidity back. Being able to alternate between fluidity and non-fluid will have advantages to your timing and stuff. Or you could even go, I'm cutting from high right to low left, I'm going to stop there, I'm going to lift back up to high right and throw something else. Think about all the ways you can move from one basic guard to another basic guard and then do things from there. That allows a variety of things to do. I am a proponent of learning how to throw from a lot of different places and a lot of different guards. For a number of reasons. One, it confuses your opponent, which is always a good thing. Two, it leads to less exhaustion in your muscles. It's like, if you stand like this, it's great for a couple minutes, but after about 10 minutes, it really gets tiring. But if you're allowed to move around, it's not so bad. You're resting one muscle while you're tiring out another muscle. It's the same with your fighting. If you're alternating and moving and changing things, your energy will stay up. Whereas if you stay locked in one ideal guard position all the time, then those muscles are going to get tired. Alright, so let's move on to getting a more complete understanding of circles in general. Circular blows are made up of circles of the hand, the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. I've got a little chart here that explains all this. You can get online, circlesword.com, www.circlesword.com. You've got slips that tell you how to get there. But anyways, each of these circles has different advantages and disadvantages. So the circle of the hand, first of all, the circle of the hand is not a 360-degree circle, it's a partial circle, but I can get 180 degrees on a circle of the hand. All circle of the hand is when you're holding the sword, how many circular motion you get holding it close in your hand. So that's something you can add to your shots, certainly. Some people call that triggering, where you start with your sword in the left, and then you tighten down with your fingers, put it into motion. So there's a 180 degrees of circle that you can avail yourself of. The circle of hand is very fast, but it's the very weakest of all circles. And it's not a full circle, so really circle the hand all by itself, maybe not be the ideal way to throw this blow, but you can probably successfully get a killer blow using your arm muscle with a 180-degree turn and circle the elbow. Circle the shoulder. Circle the shoulder is very powerful, but it's slower than the other circles. You'll see that what we're doing here is we're moving from really fast and really weak to really slow and really powerful. That's the scale we're moving through here. So circle the shoulder, that circles that center on the shoulder. These can look like chops to people, but in fact they are small portions of the bigger circular motion. I can call them figure-eights from the shoulder. It is a very powerful circle, so you can kill with a quarter turn. So let's see that this would be 180 degrees to the target, but I can actually go from here to the target. If I drive it the other way, I've got the muscle here. I may very well be able to kill with a quarter turn from the shoulder. Those are the more brutal chopping styles are often really just circle the shoulder styles that are used in the first quarter of that circle that are in the shop. The more skilled fighters like that, they feel that circle, and if they miss that chop, they continue that circle on something else. They feel that there's that circle after the chop. Things don't know where they're supposed to go. And lastly is the circle of the torso. Circle of the torso is the slowest circle. It's extremely powerful, but all by itself it's not fast enough to create the percussion necessary to cleave armor. So, this is circle of the torso. I can't quite get the 360 degrees out of it, maybe 180. Lots of power there, but all by itself, without adding anything to the feet in the hand or the wrist or something faster, it just hits too slow to break the chainring. But nonetheless, there's a lot of power there. This may be a good time to talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how one circle leads to another, but I want to regress for a minute and talk about that circle body and how it has power. Something I was noticing watching the video was that even with pretty experienced fighters, what I see a lot of times is when they add the circle of the body to the glove, they add power to their shot, the shoulder is not strong enough to transmit the power of the circle of the body into the arm and therefore make it available to the circle of the shoulder, the hand, and the elbow. So what happens is, instead of this all staying stable and moving into the shot, the body rotates and all of this kind of lags behind for a moment. And they end up with the body turning without having added much to this because the shoulder's lagging. It's not strong enough to transmit the turn and then run basically with the arm. One of the solutions that's worked for me as far as resolving that, and I'm not a hugely buff guy, so I need all these little tricks I can, is if I started out by actually touching my elbow to my side to start my blows. So kind of like from formaldehyde babies when the hands go on their shoulders. You think of yourself like that. Because everything's all attached here. There's no arm out here. It's hand attached to the shoulder in your mind. And that's what you go just like that. Keep that attachment. And then at the end, once all the power's been generated, it's perfectly okay to reach a little to get out to where you need to go. And that, because it's locked into the body, that eliminates that mushiness in the shoulder and translates all that body's energy into making it available to your hand. For me, that shot is really mostly circle of the hand, circle of the body. I'm not really using much elbow, wrist, or shoulder anymore, but because that transmission is efficient enough between the body and the hand gets the speed, the body gets the power. What I found eventually is two things. One, I didn't have to attach it to the side. I could also attach it to the front, so I have options here. I can throw this kind of thing with these angles, or I can bring it to the front and throw these kind